Welcome to SparkCertCourse.com. Welcome to the Apache Spark certification training. My name is Florian Roscheck, and I'm going to teach you how to pass the Databricks Spark certification. I'm really excited to have you here. This course is in many ways more than just a means to pass the Spark certification exam. It is a Spark life guide, a key, your key to the world of big data processing. And for me, it is a labor of dedication and passion for creating one of the best resources for Apache Spark on the internet today. I'm looking forward to sharing my excitement for Apache Spark with you in this course. But who am I exactly? I'm currently a senior data scientist at a major consumer goods company in Germany. In the past couple of years, I've taught over 5,000 students how to pass the Databricks Spark certification in a popular set of practice exams online. Everything that I've learned about teaching Spark along the way, I've applied when making this course. Although I'm currently based in Europe, I actually worked more than 7 years in the United States, including working as a data scientist in a renewable energy company in California. Ever since I started diving deeper and deeper into Spark, I became a true fan of Databricks. I love the engineering work that the engineers do. And I also love the fact that Spark is open source, that everybody in the world can contribute to this wonderful project. Being open and transparent brings so much value for software and for society as a whole. This is also why I contribute my time as a volunteer to NumFocus, who promotes open practices in research, data, and scientific computing. Finally, a passion for sustainability has guided many of my personal and professional decisions. This is also why you will get to work with sustainability topics in this course. Let's get you certified. This is my motivation for this course. I want nothing more than that you pass the Databricks certification. The content in the course will certainly enable you to do this. But if you have any questions, anything that makes you doubt that you pass the certification with a good grade, then please reach out to me. As your instructor, I'm here to help you. Let's get you certified. What can you expect in this course? Expect world-class content. I put lots and lots of effort into making the explanations of Spark concepts here the best that at least I've ever seen. Because I want you to focus mostly on the content, you will not see my face all that much. But instead, you will see step-by-step animations and a holistic view of how Spark works so that you become an Apache Spark expert. In order for you to really learn Spark in depth, this course includes so many practice opportunities. There are 218 practice questions, 180 alone in the practice tests. There are 20 interactive coding exercises where you can check in your code and then even get feedback about what might be wrong about it. When you've gone through this course, you will be able to do so much more than just passing the Spark certification. You will have some in-depth Spark knowledge that can elevate your career, be it as a big data expert at your current workplace or helping you to pass a Spark interview at your next one. This course contains 4 different elements: lessons, hands-on sessions, labs, and practice questions. In the lessons, you will understand theory and concepts of Apache Spark in depth. In the hands-on sessions, I will show you what the theory and concepts look like in practice. We will spin up a Spark cluster, and I will take you on a couple of tours behind the scenes of big data processing with Spark. In labs, I hand it over to you. You will code along with me, getting to know how to interact with Spark in code. For some stretches of the journey, you will lead and solve coding questions on your own. Of course, later I will show you my personal approach to solving all of those questions. Then, lastly, there are practice questions. There are some at the end of each chapter, so you can check your understanding. In addition, there are 180 practice questions spread over 3 practice tests, which mimic the Databricks exam. Each of the 218 practice questions in the course includes explanations, giving you the opportunity to learn from your mistakes. Finally, there are mastery maps. Mastery maps are PDF files that you can download. They help remind you of important concepts in Spark as you prepare for the certification exam. Let's talk about the contents of the course. This is the welcome section where you will prepare for the course. Then we will get an overview of the Spark cluster and its components. Next, we will look at the Spark data APIs. For example, you will learn about data frames and RDDs. The next chapter is a lab, which means you will get to work. You will create data frames yourself and dig deeper into schemas. In the power of partitions, you will get to know some of Spark's fundamental mechanisms like shuffles. Just when you thought it could not get any more interesting, there's executor memory management. I'm super looking forward to this one. Memory management is one of the things that Spark is really good at, and that plays a huge role in processing big data efficiently. Right after that, it is enough of theory, and you get your hands dirty in code again. Recap how to partition and cache data in Apache Spark. This includes coding exercises. And next, we will check out actions and transformations. What an action and what a transformation is not only important for the certification, but also for using Spark in development. In the next lab, we dive, as promised, deeper into sustainability. We do this while thoroughly exploring how to read and write data into and from Apache Spark. Next is the execution hierarchy. This is usually a confusing topic when you study for the certification, except this time it isn't. And the reason is that I make this super clear for you. As we go ahead, you will have tons of fun in the next lab. This is all about working with data frames. At this stage, you will have enough knowledge to really understand how Spark achieves distributed and fault-tolerant execution of workloads, subject of the code execution chapter. In the next lab, up close with accounting, you will get a lot of practice in working with dates and times, strings, and arrays. This is definitely relevant for the exam, and it is also fun. In cross-cluster communication, we tackle the last bit of Spark theory. A special focus point here is how Spark deals with joins. I like this chapter because a lot of developer brainpower went into how Spark resolves joins in an efficient way. You will know what I mean and hopefully also appreciate it when we get there. It is the final countdown, and this means one last lab. Here we get wild with grouping, aggregating, and joining data. Then you will be on the expressway to the certification. I will take you through some exam preparations. Then you have ample opportunity to focus your knowledge on the exam and get skilled in answering 180 exam questions. At this stage, you're ready to tackle the exam. How much time should you plan for the course? This is a great question. And of course, the answer is it depends. It depends on how much time you can put in for studying. Let's assume you have a full-time job and can spare some time in the evening and on weekends, averaging out to about 1.5 hours per day. This would be a good timeline to follow then. In total, you would need 5 weeks. In the first 3 weeks, you go through most of the course content. Then you dedicate the last 2 weeks to going through the practice tests. 2 weeks allows you enough time to go through each test twice and read and understand all explanations where necessary. You can also find this timeline in the course files for your orientation. Perfect, here comes the fun part. There's one thing that I don't like about some of the online courses that I've taken in the past. It is that sometimes they get boring after a while. I don't want you to feel this way about this course, so I added a story. When you're working through the 6 labs, you will do so as data analytics intern at the fictional company Degmart. Here are the 4 colleagues you will meet along the way. Thiago is the manager of data services at Degmart. He's also your boss. With his big network in the company, he sets you up with some business projects straight away. Ethan manages Degmart's supply chain sustainability. He does not know much about how to deal with large data sets, and luckily you're around to save the day. Catherine is a senior accounting manager who has seen a lot of data. She has a lot of stuff on her plate and still needs more resources to get it done. And so it happens that you work with her team to look at an interesting case or two. Maya is Degmart's CEO. She's currently transforming the business by strategically acquiring other market players and investing heavily in sustainability. It goes without saying that all characters and the story are purely fictional, although fun. Here is another important disclaimer for this course. Neither this course nor the certification are endorsed by the Apache Software Foundation. The Spark, Apache Spark, and the Spark logo are trademarks of the Apache Software Foundation. This course is not sponsored by or affiliated with Databricks. If you would like to get in touch with me, then please do so. I love connecting with students. And if you have a Spark question, then please feel free to ask it in the course discussion. You can also reach out to me on LinkedIn and YouTube. I'm happy to connect. Now, let's go and prepare for the course.